The feedback, I apologize to everybody on that side who probably is getting it. So how are we doing tonight? Are people fired up? Yeah! My name is Chafe, and I work as the Executive Director of Change to Win. We're the alternative union federation in this country. We have 7 unions and 6.5 million members, and we were formed about 3 years ago. And our role in this election is to, is that it? On or off? You'll be able to hear me. Our role in this election is to be your partner, and is to find a way to work the precincts, walk the neighborhoods, make the phone calls, and do the work at our work sites. We represent over 80,000 workers here in North Carolina, so that we make sure that the kind of facts that Lisa just shared with us frame this election. This is a historic moment, and it's a moment where North Carolinians need to be able to express the traditional kind of leadership that we know we have seen over the decades. Because if we do our job, both in the labor movement, in the environmental movement, in the entrepreneurial community, to define what is truly at stake and make it clear what the contrasts and comparisons are, and we do that work, neighbor to neighbor, business person to business person, we can make sure that all the theatrics and all the circus show that we just saw in Minnesota are not allowed to dominate this election the way they did in 2000. All over the country, people say to me, and some of our members say, how are we going to elect someone named Barack Obama to be President of the United States? Easy! And I say, you just have to give them the facts, okay? We are in a moment where we have an opportunity, and this state, more than any other, has to be at the forefront. My work in this state, I was raised here, but my real education in this state was organizing textile workers and apparel workers, none of whom have a job anymore. And those workers were some of the hardest working people with the best values, everything you'd want for your own family, for your own children, in terms of their approach to trying to be something that added to our economy, and they simply wanted a shot at the American dream. North Carolina has shown over the last 40 years that it can make transitions in its economy, and there is none that will be as important as the transition to a green economy. There's nothing that's as important as making sure that as we move our economy to being about green jobs, that we make sure they're good green jobs. That they're green jobs where people in this state can go to work with their hands and with their minds to help add value to our economy and rebuild the middle class all across this state. And we've done it before, and we have to do it again. If you look, for people who are doubters about this, if you look at this state's economy and its base of how it brought in money, it has gone through 2 revolutions already, just in our lifetimes. Not necessarily mine, but certainly a couple of generations. I'm holding on to 30s. So we know that it's possible because we've seen what state government and national government can do, and we've seen what our workforce can do to rise up and meet those challenges. So we have to take that spirit into this election, and we have to make sure that North Carolinians understand the opportunity that this election represents. It is on so many levels. Lisa said a word that I think is essential: scale. If we don't do this work, and I mean from now through November, and then starting on November 5th, in a completely different kind of campaign, going to scale, going as broad as you can go, beyond who you know and who you think you have the right to talk to, about what you think is okay to talk about, and what you think is okay to weigh in on with your neighbors and your friends. If we don't go to that scale, then we are failing ourselves as leaders. And to all the children that are gathered here today, I want to salute their parents for bringing them, because I think it's fantastic to develop new leaders very young. I want you to think about it when you're trying to decide if it's worth it to take that risk and have that conversation with someone. What is your child going to do for a living in North Carolina in 25 years if we haven't led in this moment, right now, to elect Barack Obama, to push up from the streets, from our communities, from our states, and make Washington respond, and help Washington create that level floor. So, a couple of quick things just so folks understand what we're trying to do. We are at the table in Clean Tech for Obama as Change to Win, because the labor movement over the last 15 or 20 years has essentially been Dr. No when it comes to climate change. We have shut down the Kyoto Protocol. We have fought against the kinds of changes and transitions that we need to make in public policy. That's not the case anymore. Change to Win is at the table with Clean Tech for Obama. I speak at events like this across the country, and we are absolutely committed to the idea that it is part of our responsibility as labor leaders and part of our members' responsibility as union members to stand up and say that they want to see a green economy. Our members want to drive clean, green cars made by United Auto Workers. They want to live in homes that have been constructed using the most updated green technology. When they have the chance to go on vacation, they want to stay in a green building hotel where the laundry and the sheets and all the work that gets done there is done by green principles. And we want to make sure that as we go into this transition, that we have earned our right to be at that table, which is why we're taking the time to be here. It is why we believe so strongly in Barack Obama, because we know that his leadership is going to give us, it's going to open a door. We should not get confused about what an election represents. It is an historic opportunity for us, but it is literally cracking the door open. Not simply to fix 8 years of disastrous politics and policy, not simply to reframe who we are in the world, but it is simply opening a door to a candidate who is literally ready to listen to us and ready, if you can feel it with all the work that you've already been doing for Barack Obama, to stand up and take your cue and follow you down the path towards a different kind of economy in this country. That's why, and North Carolina is going to be a winning state for Barack Obama. Yeah. That the work that's been done already to register tens of thousands, if not more, into the hundreds of thousands of new voters here is going to bring change. We saw it on May 6th. I walked in precincts in Guilford County and Orange County that day. We had folks all over the state, in Cumberland, in Rockingham, in Mecklenburg, in Union County, in Stanley County. You don't think you're going to find the Union people in certain parts of the state, but we're there. And if we're there, you can guarantee we're going to be knocking on doors and turning out the vote. That's why our federation has put a full-time person here on the ground. That's why we're investing. If you are in our persuadable universe, if you're a North Carolina voter and you're a union member, we're going to contact you 43 times. I'm not kidding. Between July 1st and November 4th. 43 times. At your work site, at your door, on your phone, with everybody you know, calling people out to be leaders and define this race. The last thing I want to say is about partnership. We have to be in this together. And we have taken a number of steps in the labor movement to try to redefine who we are and what we're about. But we need to partner with all of you, and we have to fight this fight both through November and moving forward. Because even when Obama wins, even when we have 57 and 58 senators who are Democrats, and even with David Price having the chance to be an even stronger leader with even more of a mandate in Washington and the Congress, this is an uphill fight.